There we go. And we are live. Welcome back with Murphy Mac to another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast, where we help you get started on your fitness journey. What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a great day today. We got a good little interesting topic for the podcast, and this is one that y'all are going to want to listen to. This is one that I think this one single tip can really, really impact your success in your fitness journey. It can have a major role and a major key in helping you. And I know this because, and I can say it confidently, because it's helped me in mine a lot. When I started doing this, it really took my fitness journey to the next level. Like it was that missing link that I needed to start really hitting my fitness goals, to start really taking it serious. And if you've seen the title of this episode, it is the absolute best piece of nutrition advice that I can give you when it comes to nutrition and fitness. And it's not what you're thinking. It's not like a certain food to eat, a certain diet to follow, certain foods to avoid. It's none of that. It's actually the way you prepare your food. And I've talked about it plenty of times on the podcast before, but I figured the podcast needs a dedicated episode just for this one topic, and that is meal prepping. So if you would meal prep, it will help you tremendously in your fitness journey with hitting your daily nutrition goals. 100%. Like hands down, I think it would help you improve your results drastically. And that's because it did mine. If you take it serious and if you do it right, it can definitely help for sure. So that's what we're going to dive into today. We're going to get a little more into the weeds of what is meal prepping, why you should meal prep, how to meal prep, how I meal prep personally. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive right into it. I'm not going to waste any more time. So yeah, we're just going to start off with what is meal prepping. Okay, you probably heard this term before, and you may not completely understand what it means, but in the gist, it means planning, preparing, and portioning the three P's: planning, preparing, and portioning your meals in advance. So most people do this for a week at a time. Some people do it for a couple days at a time. I do it for the week, Monday through Friday, just to make things simple because that's the work week. And I typically meal prep just for my lunch. But right now, during my bodybuilding prep, I'm actually meal prepping all my meals. So I'm eating 6 times a day. So I meal prep 6 meals. I know it's a little overboard and I don't suggest you do that, but I would start with just your lunch. So start with just meal prepping your lunches. That's what I normally do. So yeah, what does this look like? So first off, you want to plan it out. So you need to choose your recipe. What meals you want? Are you going to make all the same meals? Are you going to make different meals? Are you going to make maybe 2 different meals and you alternate them each day? I'll be honest, the most simple and the best way to do it, in my opinion, is just do one meal and just eat it every day. I know some of y'all are like, man, I can't do that. I can't eat the same meal every single day. Trust me, you can. When If you do it for a little bit, you'll get used to it. And it's only one meal a day that you're eating the same. You're just eating lunch. So it's not that big a deal. You can do it for a week, I promise. But you don't have to do the same meals every week. You can change it up. I would suggest change it up. Do something different the next week. But if you're just like, nah, I can't do that. I can't eat the same meal. Then you can make 2 different meals. So make 2 different meals and just alternate them. Or if you want to, you can make 5 different meals. It really don't matter. That's going to be more difficult to do. It's going to be easier the less meals you have. I would suggest just do one. Just make it simple. But yeah, you're going to choose a recipe. Then you're going to go to the grocery store. You're going to do your grocery shopping. Then you got to go home. You got to prepare it. You got to cook it. And then the hard part is, or not the hard part, but the time consuming part is you got to portion it all out. If you want to be exact, you need to weigh it out to the T. But if you don't want to be exact, if you're just doing it for maintenance, then don't weigh it out. Just eyeball it, split it up evenly. And that's what I normally do if I'm not on prep. So yeah, it's pretty basic, pretty simple. It's not very hard to do, but it's very, very beneficial. So I highly suggest you do it, try it out. But what you're gonna realize is it's it's super good and has a lot of time saving benefits. So for example, I do mine on Sunday. So yeah, you will spend a few hours meal prepping your food. Typically, I would say about 2 hours is what it takes me. Obviously, the more meals you have, the longer it's going to take. If you're only doing lunches, so say 5 meals, it probably won't take you 2 hours. Probably won't take you that long. But yeah, take a couple hours on Sunday to set you up for the rest of the week, and I promise you, it's worth it. That few extra minutes you spend cooking on Sunday, it's gonna pay. It's gonna be so worth it throughout the week when you start to actually hit your results. It's gonna be more beneficial for you. So not only do you save time cooking, like so think during the week you either are going to be cooking throughout the week for your meals or you're going to be going and getting fast food. So if you add up all that time for each week, it's going to end up being more time than if you was to just meal prep it all at once on Sunday. So say 2 hours on Sunday. Well, if you were to go get food every day of the week during lunch, you got to think all the driving time there, driving time back, plus the money that you're spending to buy the food. So if you add all that up throughout the week, it's going to be more than 2 hours, more than likely, because 2 hours is really not that much time. So if you do it over 5 days, you're going to be spending more than that. So you'll save time simply by meal prepping your food. And then you don't have to drive nowhere at work. You just pop that bad boy in the microwave and you're ready to go. So it can reduce those daily cooking times. It can reduce the stress thinking about what I need to cook, what I need to eat, where am I going to eat. It can do all that. So it saves time a lot. And that's one benefit of it. The second benefit of it is it's cost effective. It's a lot cheaper if you buy things in bulk, cook it all at once, and then you save money because fast food is not cheap anymore. I don't know when the last time you've been and got some fast food, but you can't get a meal for less than $10 nowadays. It's going to be at least 12, 15, sometimes even more than that. Um, so if you do the math over 5 days a week, 7 days, however many times you eat out, you're gonna end up spending way more than if you just go to the grocery store, buy you some meat, some protein, carbs, and fats. I mean, it's gonna be way cheaper in the long run if you buy at the store, cook it yourself. So buy your ingredients in bulk. That's why I say it's best to just cook one meal so you can buy everything you need for that one meal. And this avoid spending money on takeout. And this has just been in this way, like even if you buy the healthier foods, which are typically more expensive, it's still cheaper than if you went out and just bought food every day. I know a lot of people like to go out and eat with their coworkers for lunch. Well, that adds up over time. You're gonna be spending 15, 20. If you go to a nice restaurant, even $30 at a time, then you gotta leave the tip on top of that. So I mean your meals can add up a couple $100 a week before you even know it. So you can honestly go to Walmart, wherever you shop, get a whole week's worth of food for probably less than $50. Actually, close to probably 20, $30, depending on what you get, obviously. The more you put in it, the more it's going to cost. But you can normally eat for the week for pretty cheap if you buying it and cooking it yourself. So that's number two, is cost effective. The next perk of meal prepping your food is portion control and balanced nutrition. You're the one cooking it, so you know exactly what's going in it. You're cooking it. You can portion the meals out exactly how you need it. You can put the exact amount of protein you need in it, the exact amount of carbs you need in it, the exact amount of fats, and it don't have no junk in it because you're the one cooking it. You know exactly what's in it. You can, if you're tracking your calories, this is way easier to do if you track it this way because you know exactly what's in it. If you're tracking your calories and you go out to eat, you don't know what all they put in that food. A lot of time restaurants put a bunch of extra stuff in their food that you don't know and it's hard to track. So then your calories will be off. But this way, one, you only have to track it once for the whole week. And two, you know exactly what's in it. So you're tracking it accurately. It's going to help you prevent overeating. It's going to ensure that you get a balanced macronutrient intake because you know exactly what's in it. So yeah, this is the best way to do it. Again, and also this is going to save you time with tracking your calories as well. So if you're instead of having to input 5, 6, 7 different meals into your calorie tracker, you can just put one, and you can just use the same meal each time. So it makes it super simple, super basic, and you can't go wrong with it. So another perk of meal prepping is consistency and discipline. If you cook the food, you took the time, prepared it, went to the store, cooked it all, divided it all up, it's safe to say that you actually gonna eat it. You gonna stick to it because you spent all that time, the money, the effort on it. You want to actually eat it. You want to stick to that meal plan. If I know I have food in the fridge at work, I'm not gonna go out to eat. I'm just gonna pop the food in the microwave, eat it real quick because I took the time to prepare it. I paid for it. I did all that, So it helps you stick to your diet more because you already have it there. It's there and it's available. So it's super easy to stick to it. You can stick to your meal prep routine and maintain that consistent eating schedule. And also you can eat at the same time too because you already have it ready. So we all know consistency is going to be very, very important when it comes to your fitness goals. And this also can help you prevent like unhealthy snacking. Because sometimes if you already have the food there, so you can eat it. You don't have to wait on food, which may lead to snacking earlier or something like that. So it's good to help you stay consistent because you're eating healthy food each and every day. So consistency over time, it's going to lead to progress. It's pretty self-explanatory here. Also, another perk of meal prepping your food is customization, especially if you have special dietary needs. So if you're allergic to something, you can make meals around that. If you're like gluten free, you can make meals around that. If you're vegetarian, you can make your own meals. So it's very customizable. You can put exactly what you want in it or not want in it. You can make meals that you like, prepare it the way you like it prepared. So it's good for accommodating to your special needs, depending on what that is. You can cook foods that you actually like and avoid foods that if you don't like a certain food, you ain't got to make it. Simple as that. So yeah, it's good for your preferences, customizable things like that. You don't have to get something off a menu that you may not like or you may not want something in it or added into it. So yeah, I've made all kinds of different meal prep meals. And I've tweaked them a little bit. So like sometimes I'll make the same one, but I know I may add a different ingredient into it next time, or take out one of the ingredients that I didn't like. So you can play with your recipes over time and perfect it to where you like it best. So that's another good thing is you can build on those recipes and redo the ones you do like and not use the ones that you don't like anymore. So some practical tips for successful meal prepping is number one is just start simple. Like don't make it difficult. Start with super simple foods, things that's easy to cook that you know how to cook. Maybe not a ton of ingredients, maybe just like a few things. You could also just start with one meal a day, like one meal per day, or if you want to make some snacks or something, some healthy snacks. That's super simple to start with. Don't start with making breakfast, lunch, dinner. Just do one meal. Start with lunch. That's what I would do because you're normally going to be at work during the day. So it's easy to just take your lunch with you. So just get you an easy recipe. Don't do nothing crazy. Just do something you know how to do, something that you know that's healthy. If you don't have any good ideas, just look them up and just go to the Google, type in healthy meal prep recipes, and literally thousands of them will pop up. It's not that hard. Another tip is invest in some quality containers. So I would suggest getting some plastic, not plastic. I would suggest getting some glass containers if you can. I know they're a little more expensive, but supposedly they're more healthy for you. You want to make sure you're using BPA free, microwave safe containers if you're going to use the plastic ones. Um, I will be honest, I use plastic ones myself, but that's because I just need so many. I can't afford to buy that many glass ones because I literally meal prep 6 meals a day for like 7 days at a time. So you do the math. It's like 40 some containers. It's a little ridiculous, I know. Um, yeah, just use if you can get the glass ones. If not, just make sure your plastic ones are BPA free, microwave safe. Pretty much all of them are nowadays, but yeah. What you can do, another one is um you can make a menu if you want to make it like a template to do. So this way you can switch up your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, your snacks. Once you get into it and you start meal prepping more than just your lunch, you can make a menu. Um, Again, go to Google, search some meal prep recipes, and kind of use these for inspiration for ideas. Also, there's a lot of good accounts on Instagram that make meal prep ideas. So I highly suggest look him up. There's one dude, his name is Tasty Shreds. That's his Instagram name. Look him up. He's got some fire meal prep recipes on there. And I get a lot of inspiration from him. Or I follow several other people too. Just go to Instagram, type in meal prep, and there'll be all kinds of creators on there that make meal prep recipes. Look them up. You get some good ideas, and that's a good way for you to. That's a good place for you to start. That's what I did at first, and honestly, I've got some good ideas from them and made some really good meal preps. So obviously, you want to do batch cooking. I would say do it all in one sitting. If you're the type of person that you get weirded out about food being a couple days old, what you could do is just cook 2 or 3 for 2 or 3 days at a time. Like, if it's Sunday, maybe you cook for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then on Wednesday, you'll cook again for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But I would suggest batch cooking. So do it all in one sitting. Like, do it all in that one little window because it just makes it easier, more simple, and you can get it all done at once. There's no point in trying to do it multiple times, in my opinion. I mean, if you are weird about it, you can do it twice a week, 3 times a week if you need to. But the more you can batch cook it, the easier it's going to be on you. So I was just do as much of it as you can at one time. Also, a big tip when it comes to meal prepping, if you're making different meals, stay organized. Label your containers with the dates and the contents. That way you can keep track of your meals. So if you're just doing your lunch and they're all the same, obviously you don't really need to label them. But if you're doing multiple meals, it's easy. Just get you a little sticky note or something, put on top of the thing, write what meal it is, what's in it. When you should, like, if you have it set out by meals, you can do what number meal it is, whatever it is, whatever way you can identify it and you know what's in it. I would do this. This way, it's easy to just go in the fridge and grab the exact one that you need. You don't have to like open the container up, look inside of it, say, okay, is this it? Is this not it? Just go ahead and label them from the get go, and it makes it way more simple. So, some common concerns when it comes to meal prepping, and I kind of touched on this earlier, it's just the fear of boredom with the meals, like getting tired of eating the same food over and over and over again. Well, the way you combat this is just rotate different recipes. Use various spices to season your food, different herbs, different flavors, things like that. You can prepare the foods differently to make them taste different. Use different recipes from week to week. If you don't want to eat the same thing every day, you can make 2 different meals and alternate them. But yeah, a lot of people just think they can't eat the same meal over and over again. But I promise you, you can. Because I used to be that person. Like I used to not believe in eating leftovers. Like I would not eat leftovers when I was younger. I wouldn't do it. But that was also before I started paying for my own food. As soon as I started paying for my own food, I realized real quick that I was a big fan of leftovers. If anybody pays for their own food, y'all know what I mean. But yeah, I started doing this and I just got used to eating the same meal every day. It really don't bother me. Like it's not that big a deal. And another thing I did was I stopped trying to eat for pleasure and I started eating for survival. When you change your mindset like that, it makes it a lot easier. Because we we were not supposed to eat like we were not made to eat for covering up our problems for stress eating like that. That's not a thing. Like we shouldn't be doing that. Humans weren't made to eat for pleasure. Humans, you're made to eat to survive. So I don't know when this whole pleasure thing came into play, but yeah, you shouldn't be eating when you're stressed out. You shouldn't be eating to cover up your problems. You get what I'm trying to say. Like you're meant to eat so that your body can function and you can stay alive. You're not meant to eat just to eat, like for fun or if you're bored. So you can eat the same thing over and over again. I promise you'll get used to it. Just stick with it for a little bit, and it's really not that big deal. If you have limited cooking skills, start with simple recipes. Start with um, use recipes off the internet that tell you exactly what ingredients you use, that tell you exactly what steps to take to cook the food. That's what I did. A lot of the people on Instagram that I mentioned that you can follow, they'll list out the ingredients, exact ingredients that you need. They'll tell you how to cook it, things like that. So find something that explains everything for you and list it out step by step. And this is what you can do to start. That's literally what I did when I started doing it. I had no cooking skills. I still honestly really don't. I really not that good of a cook. I really ain't, but I cook all the time now because I meal prep every week. I've cooked dinners for a while now, so I never cooked before I bought my own house. But now I cook a lot. I wouldn't say I'm a like good cook, but I've learned a lot. Like I learned how to grill everything, and I can make some pretty good food. Like even my meal preps are pretty good. Like I don't hate eating my meal preps at all because as long as you cook it right, you season everything, add some sides and stuff into it. It's you can make the meals pretty good while they're still healthy. Like you can still hit your goals while eating good food. Like everybody, people have this misconception that healthy food is not good, but that's super false. Like that's couldn't be more from false. Um, yeah, I actually enjoy all my meal preps, and if I do make a meal prep that I don't like, I don't make it again. Like I'll just take it out the rotation. I don't make them again, but most of the time it's pretty good. So you just got to start with simple recipes and work your way up. You can get more complex over time as you get more cooking skills. But honestly, easiest thing for you to do, go to Google, get a recipe that lists out the steps, how to cook it and what ingredients. And that's the easiest way to do it. That's what I did. And if I can do it, you can do it too. Another concern, if you have storage and freshness concerns, I kind of hit on this earlier too. If you don't think food lasts a whole week, what you could do is you could freeze it instead of just leaving it in the fridge. You could cook it and then put it in the freezer. So this will make it last a little bit longer. It can extend that shelf life of the prep meals, or you can just meal prep twice a week, like meal prep on Sunday and then meal prep again on Wednesday, if that's what you need to do, if that's what you feel more comfortable with. But I can tell you from example, if you cook on Sunday, your food will be good all week. I promise, because I do it every week. I've been doing it for probably 2 years now, and knock on wood, I haven't had an issue with it yet. As long as you're cooking your food thoroughly, like you're cooking it all the way through, you're not leaving any meat raw or anything, you should be good. And keep it in the fridge, obviously. Don't or in the freezer. Don't let it sit out on the counter or something. Obviously, it's gonna go bad. But you should be good if you just keep it sealed up, keep it in an airtight container, obviously, and this will help make it last longer in the fridge. So yeah, just to recap the key points of meal prepping is it's time saving, it's cost effective, it can help you hit your portion sizes, portion control, help you be consistent with your meal plan, and it's customizable. So it's a win-win. Like I don't know why you wouldn't do it. I don't think it has a downside. I guess the only downside you could say is you don't eat different foods every day. But honestly, it's not that big a deal, especially only one meal a day. So there's really no downsides to it. I don't know why you wouldn't do it. So I suggest try it out. Try it Sunday before your week start or whatever everybody's work schedule is different. So whenever you start your work week, I would say do it the day before or a day of the week that you have more free time. I would do it on that day. So yeah, I encourage you start small and gradually build your meal prepping routine. Even if you can't do a whole week, even if you just want to make a meal for the next day, like say you're cooking dinner or something, and you decide you're going to cook two portions of that dinner and you're going to eat that second portion the next day for lunch. That's a good way to do it too. Like if you have extra from dinner, just take that for lunch the next day. That's an easy way to meal prep as well too. Just start small and you can build on this over time. So yeah, I encourage you. Try it out. See if it works for you. It may not work for you. I don't know. It should. If I don't know. I don't know what would work better than meal prepping. Honestly, it saves you time, money, everything in between. So, yeah, that's my spiel on meal prepping. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about it because it's helped me a lot. Um, I never did it until after I bought my own house, and that's when I really started taking my nutrition serious in my fitness journey. And ever since then, it's made a big difference. Like I've actually been able to put on size, put on some muscle because I'm actually hitting my protein target every day. I'm actually getting proper nutrients in my body. So it's made a big difference in the results that I've seen in the gym. So yeah, y'all go ahead, give it a try next week before you get ready for your work, and let me know how it works for you. If you need to, if you can't find any good recipe ideas, let me know and I'll send you some. I'll send you some ones that I like that I make personally. Or if you have any questions about it, if you need some help with it, let me know. Shoot me a DM. Murphy Mac Fit on all social media. And if you haven't yet, leave a review on the podcast. We're trying to get the reviews up. Share it with a friend. Tell somebody about it that you know that's wanting to get into fitness, and this can help them get started on their fitness journey. I would appreciate it. But yeah, until then, we'll see y'all next week. Y'all have a great day. Peace, love, protein. We out.